Predicting head-to-head matchups for Pittsburgh Supercross, and this video is brought to you by NextBets, where you can actually play all of the 450 matchups. All you have to do is go to the link in the description below to check it out, and they also have a new sportsbook offer. If you bet $5, you can actually win $250, so definitely check it out. It's definitely worth it. Okay, so the first matchup that we have up, it's Dean Wilson versus Christian Craig. Now, Dean has only been racing 2 rounds, so there's not much to go off of here. However, you'd be surprised. They're 1-1. Dean actually beat him last week. Can Dean beat him again this week?
Yeah, I would say yes. Easily. I don't want to say easily, but I would say I almost slipped it in there. But I would say Dean definitely has the better trajectory, and I think will only get better for the last few races. Christian's been back a few times and seems, I don't know, he just seems to be struggling. So I think Dean's going to get it in.
I think Christian Craig figures it out this week, and he gets a top 10. I still can't believe I put him 7th. The first week he came back, and I don't think he's even touched like 8th. So, yeah, this week, though, he's going to get a top 10, and he's going to beat Dean Wilson. That's my prediction for this.
Sure.
Yeah. It could happen, you know what I mean? Could happen. All right, so our next matchup that we have up is Aaron Plessinger versus Justin Cooper. And Justin Cooper has beaten AP 8 out of the 14 rounds this year. However, AP has done better in the last, like, say, 6 rounds. And so I think this one's kind of tough because Jay Coop is, like, right there with AP. Like, they finished 3-4 last week. So I think it's like a toss-up right now for who wins this.
It is very close. And without glazing, I will say who has all the momentum, though? It's AP.
That is very true. That is very true.
So I'm going to go AP. I'm
going to go with you. I think AP beats Justin Cooper once again. I'm not going to be surprised if AP gets on the podium. Like, he's that 3rd best guy right now, I think. I think Justin Cooper's maybe like the 4th best guy, maybe. Yeah, I think it is, honestly. So I think AP also gets it done. That's one interesting to watch, though. I wonder to see if AP can figure out a way to make that even by the end of the year, like 50-50.
If Coop gets a good start, like a top 5 start, and AP's like a top 12 start, I think that would be hard, and kind of vice versa. And I feel like, without a doubt, AP starts have been better than Jay Coop's. So if I'm going to go based off who gets the better start and who based off who has the better momentum, like, I feel like it's AP, baby, all day.
Yeah, it's very true. I mean, AP starts have been insane lately. He really only had, to be fair, in Philly, he didn't even have a bad start. He was literally right there with Chase, and they should have gone 1-2 like on the start. And shout out to the boy Shane. He collided. So, yeah, not the greatest.
Parked his bike.
Yeah, so, yeah, definitely. I honestly think, though, even if AP gets like a 6 or 7 start and Jay Coop gets like a 3-4, I think AP still wins that matchup.
Like, if they're both, like, if one of them's buried, I think it'll go to the other one. Like, I don't think Jay Coop's going to reel in AP from like 12th and pass him if AP's 3rd. And I don't think the other way around.
Yeah, very true. Okay, so going into our next matchup, we have Ken Roczen versus Malcolm Stewart. And Kenny has been dominating this matchup, even with injury, too, the last couple of rounds. Maybe not last week, but the last few rounds with that injury. He is 10 out of 14 this year, beating Malcolm Stewart. I think it continues. I think Malcolm loses to Ken Roczen. I think something was off with Ken Roczen last week. Maybe it was the track being a little bit weird with like the 2 sets of whoops, the peakiness of the rhythms. Maybe he wasn't comfortable. I think Roczen goes back to his usual self. It's a more traditional Supercross track, 1 set of whoops. Like, it's after a rhythm too, so it's not anything crazy. I think Roczen maybe can get like a 4th here. I really do.
I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to say that what we saw last week was Kenny's injuries really starting to wear on him. And I don't want this to be the case. I want Kenny to be great, and I want us to go into outdoors and Kenny absolutely rip. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we don't know what's wrong. I hope it's not the injuries, but if it is, I think that he continues to be 6 through 8, and Malcolm's just gonna get stronger. You know?
That's a bold.
I hate that.
That's a bold statement.
I hate saying that.
I think if Ken Roczen gets a top 2 start, he stays 3-4. Nobody's besides the top 2 guys are gonna, and AP maybe can beat him.
I want another win from Kenny by the end of the year. That'd be far. Imagine that, right? We got this like Cooper Webb thing where like, oh, Cooper, you know, Sexton's got to win every race, and then Kenny just wins another one, or AP. It'd be fire.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Maybe AP, but not Ken Roczen. Okay, so going into our next one, this is a little teammate battle I put on the list here, and that is Shane McElrath versus Joey Savatgy. And now, you take this stat right here, like, and don't take too much into it. All right, don't think too much into it because Shane has beat him 8 out of the 14 times. However, Joey missed like 4 rounds, so I'd still included that because he technically beat him. But
it's a pretty close one.
I think so as well.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Because I mean, Joey just got like 5th 2 weeks ago. Shane did a little bit better than him this past weekend. I think Joey got like 11th or 12th or something like that, maybe 13th. And then, but Shane got 8th, right? So, like, I think whoever can get a start, I think if both of them get a start, I think Shane still beats Joey. I really do. Like, if Shane doesn't go down at Philly in that start, I think he gets a 5th where Joey was.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I feel like Joey peaks higher. Like, I know that technically Shane has peaked higher and got on the podium in the mud race, but in like normal conditions, I feel like Joey peaks higher, but his valleys are lower. You know what I mean? Like, Shane is far more consistent, where like he's just improving throughout the year. Maybe he, you know, has an off night or whatever, but like I feel like Shane's definitely on an upward trend where, you know, Joey will peak really high, like get the 5th, and then back to 13th, where I feel like, I mean, I feel like I gotta go Shane.
I think you gotta go Shane on this. Like you're saying, his consistency, bet, you know? Exactly, his consistency, I think, wins this matchup, to be fair. Okay, so now going into a little spicy matchup, I think. This could be a little battle that we see at Pittsburgh, and that is Dylan, a.k.a. DF.
Dylan Ferrandis.
That's him. Versus Justin Barcia. And now Justin Barcia has definitely done better than Dylan this year, right? He's beat him 10 out of 14 times. However, DF just got a 5th, and he was riding spectacular. Like, he was buried off the start, got back into 5th. JB has those fluke scenarios where he goes over the bars and the whoops, you know, do a little front flip.
True.
Do we see that again at Pittsburgh? I think Dylan might be a little bit more consistent. So in this matchup alone, my gut's telling me DF. That's just what it's saying.
Going JB 51, Bam Bam Barcia, baby. Because I think last week he should have got a 3rd or a 4th. The week before, I think he should have got a top 5 if he didn't go over the burn. Now, lots of shoulda, couldas, and wouldas in that, you know. I don't see Dylan with the same speed, although he did go from like 13th to 5th, right? So he was kind of barking. So I don't know. Dylan's starts have been atrocious. Justin's starts have been not as atrocious, and especially recently, he's been getting good starts. So I think I gotta go Barcia.
It would be interesting to see them both get really good starts and see who just can take the battle, right? Like, I think it would be up in the air when that happens. But then again, JB was holding off AP. And I'm like,
I was gonna say, you think, okay, Barcia rips the whole shot, Dylan Ferrandis is in 2nd. You think Dylan's gonna pass him?
He could.
I don't know, bro. I don't know about that. I don't see Dylan getting around Justin and then like checking out, you know?
Well, I mean, AP had a hard time going around JB. And maybe that was just the track. Maybe that was the track in general.
Or the cross jumps.
Or the cross jumps in general. But I don't know if there's a scenario where it could happen, you know? Like maybe DF punts him over the berm, you know? I don't know. Maybe
ain't nobody punting Justin Barcia, brother. Ain't nobody stirring that pot. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's kind of interesting, though. I think DF has a shot. I truthfully do. Now going into the main matchup for the 450 guys. And it's been the main matchup as the title contenders. You guys know all who it is, right? It's Cooper Webb versus Chase Sexton. And for the last 2 weeks, I have been picking Cooper Webb to win this matchup. And the last 2 weeks, I've been saying that I think Cooper Webb gets his revenge after everything that's been happening. And now, with that being said, for the 3rd week in a row, I'm going to go Cooper Webb because every time I pick Cooper Webb, it seems like Chase does really well. So I'm going to go Cooper Webb. I think he still wants to get that revenge. He said he was going to kick Chase's ass. in Philadelphia, and then went to East Rutherford and lost by 20. So Chase might be in his head a little bit. So maybe Cooper Webb bounces back and beats him this week. That's all I'm very concerned about, but that's what I'm going with.
I'm going to say, based off of my deep understanding of the Pennsylvania soil, which is, I have no understanding of the Pennsylvania soil. I'm going to assume that Pittsburgh is going to be ruddy and tacky. I don't know. No idea. But I think that. And if that's the case, it's Cooper Webb.
I think Cooper Webb comes out on fire, and we might see a little finger gun.
This is a huge pivotal round because I can, the last 2 rounds, Chase is probably going to win, right? Hard pack. He's really good on those tracks historically. I think Pittsburgh might be the deciding factor of the chip.
I can back that, yeah. I really do believe that because there's a lot of different things happening in Pittsburgh. One, we haven't been there in like 40 years, right? We don't know the soil, right? Is it going to be ready? Is it going to be like New Jersey? If it is like New Jersey, Webb's got to look out. Dude, I love that it's coming down on the wire like this, man.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
It would be crazy. Okay, so now let's hop over to the 250 guys. It's 250 East, and for the first matchup, we got Tom Vialle versus Nate Thrasher, and Tom has beaten him 6 out of the 8 rounds so far in the East Coast. That includes a couple showdowns, but I think if Nate can pull a start like he did last week and not crash, he can beat Tom Vialle. If he can't pull a start, I don't know if he can beat Tom Vialle. I just don't know.
Since this video is sponsored by a friend over at NextBets, I'm gonna play this like I would if I was actually putting doll hairs on this, and I think you have to go Tom because he's safe. Thrasher could, right? Like absolutely, Thrasher would have last week. Thrasher also might get 15th.
He's also a similar guy to your peaks and valleys, man, for Joey.
Mm-hmm.
He can peak.
Right?
He won a race, and then last week he didn't do that great, right?
I mean, 15th is crazy, but like Tom Vialle's gonna get 3rd.
That's what I'm thinking too.
We can guarantee Tom Vialle's gonna get 3rd.
Yeah, he might even get 2nd. It's Tom Vialle.
So that means Nate's got to win or get 2nd.
Yeah, it's gonna be
could
tough.
happen.
He has a speed. He has a speed, but it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so now let's go to a little privateer matchup here, and that is Cullin Park versus Max Vohland. And shout out to Cullin Park. He's 4th in the championship right now, so very, very impressive. However, Max has actually beaten him 5 out of the 8 times. Cullin just had that really spectacular ride. He got on that podium in that mud race, so that boosted his points up. But he's been pretty damn consistent this year for Cullin Park. Max has had a couple scenarios where it's like up and down. With this matchup, I'm going with the consistency. I'm going with Park. I think Park gets it done once again.
I was thinking that, but again, I think you gotta go. I mean, I gotta go Max. I think Max is faster. Take out some of the weirdness. Like, I mean, Cullin's been insanely consistent, right? Like, not on anyone's radar, and then it's just there. Seems like every race. I definitely think Max can beat him though in a straight up. So I'm gonna bank on no drama, no weirdness, nothing like that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think Max can too. If Max can get a start, he can definitely do it. Max came from the pack and got 6, so like he definitely has a speed to beat Cullin. But if Cullin can get another great start, I mean, it's gonna be tough for Max. That's all I gotta say. So now going into Austin Forkner versus Chance Hymas. And Chance Hymas has beaten him 6 out of the 8 rounds. I think the 2 rounds that Chance has lost to him, Chance is DNF'd, which is the Indy race and last weekend at New Jersey. So those are only times he's lost to him. But I'm still going with Chance Hymas. I think Chance gets it done.
No, dude.
I'm sorry, bro.
Last week.
I'm sorry. I think Chance does it.
I believe the train has arrived. The Forkner train is here. And as long as he doesn't deploy the airbags, we're on the way.
He can still deploy the airbags and still beat him. So.
Podium by the end of the year for Austin Forkner. Ooh,
That's the craziest bold take I've ever
that's a
seen.
bold one. I hope it happens.
There's only 2 races left, and that's this weekend in East-West Showdown. That ain't happening.
Hey, come on. You don't have any faith in the guy?
I do.
It's my teammate, bro. It's my teammate.
Dude, yeah, I don't know, dude. Podiums, it would most likely be this weekend if it is.
Yeah, I'm saying, you know, we're on the East Coast vibes. You know, he got his little crashes out of the way. Please don't crash again. And, like, I believe.
Okay, yeah, I still got chance times. Okay, so now going into our last matchup of the video, and we got the points leader, Seth Hammaker, versus second in points, RJ Hampshire. And it's tied up. It's tied up, bro. It's 4-4 for each guys because Seth beat him last week. And I think Seth gets it done once again. I just do. I think Seth's starts have been insane. He's had more pace than RJ throughout the entire season, even without necessarily beating him 4 times. I think Seth gets it done. He increases his points lead.
This is what's going to happen, okay? We're going to go to Pittsburgh. Seth is going to whoop everybody, okay? And then we're going to go to the East-West for the finale. It's not going to be ruddy. Seth is going to win again.
He could... Cole versus Deegan?
I don't think Deegan will win because it's not ruddy. And he doesn't need to win.
Yeah, he
right?
doesn't need to win
Like,
at all. But
he's going to be on cruise control.
He might need to win after next weekend. I'm just saying in general, he might.
Right.
Just saying
Maybe.
in general.
Maybe. Okay. Maybe he could. Maybe he does. Maybe not. How many? He's got like a lot of points.
He has 17 points up on Cole.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I would love a little drama. You know, I would love Cole to be in it at the end there. That'd be fire. But assuming everything goes fine, you know, and he loses a couple points or he gains points or whatever, I don't think Deegan will put up a big fight at the end. And I think Seth is the guy. And Seth will have to do well.
He will, because he's only going to be down or up by 6, right? So he has way less of a cushion than Deegan does, hypothetically, right, going into it. So, but yeah, those are our matchups. Let us know in the comment section below who you guys have winning all of these matchups. And also let us know in the comments who you're looking forward to, like if we didn't put a matchup on here, like who you guys are looking forward to like going after. So, but with that being said, thank you guys so much for all the love on all of these videos. Make sure you guys check out tomorrow's video. It is going to be the predictions for Pittsburgh. So make sure you guys check that out. And yeah, we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for the love, and we're out. Peace.